What's going on, Knicks Nation? We getting ready to get into this second round series against the Boston Celtics. I am ready. I hope you guys are ready, man. Listen, this is an optimistic show, right? Understand that the Celtics are a heavy favorite, but I'm going to give you a David Slay's Goliath story today. We're going to get into playoff Brunson, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, three-point defense. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I think the Knicks could pull it off and upset the apple cart. They already got us written off. But on this show, I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to give you 10 reasons why we could actually slay the giant. All right. Let's go, New York City. Welcome, everyone, on this playoff preview, 10 Reasons Why show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibe. So I was talking to Maxine, and I said, you know what? I'm going to open up this video for everyone. This is supposed to be a members-only video. So if you are watching the show, welcome to the show. If you are a member, feel free to hit the chat. I will be looking at your chats, but this is a members only live chat show. Still doesn't take away your responsibility. If you're in the chat, make sure you guys hit the like button so more cool people could still check out the video, because I'm going to go in. I'm going to give you guys 10 reasons. And also, I'm not going to make this video too long. So I kind of like that I only got a members only chat, so we ain't got to go too long. Right. So playoff series, Boston's going down. I'm actually going to try to make my way down to the city for one of those watch parties that they do on 33rd Street. I can't go to game one. You know, we got the podcast on Mondays. Plus, I got a whole bunch of other things I'm doing on Monday. But I'm going to try to go to, if they have more, and I'm pretty sure they will, I'll put out a blast letting you guys know. If you guys want to link up with me, we could go to the 33rd Street watch party once they put out, you know, further details in the future. But I do see you, Crimes Dad, one of the first members. You always one of the first people in the chat. Oh, by the way, it's not Crimes Dad. So I got to change, because I listened to Still Knicks fans. Salute to Still Knicks fans. Your name is Crims Dad. So Crims, because you're Crims Dad, not Crimes Dad. I don't know why we always look at your name and think it was Crimes Dad, but Crims Dad. Salute the Crims. Tell Crims I said what's up, Crims Dad. All right, cool. So I had to start there. I'm going to get into some basic like things to watch out for. I want to talk about what the goal of the Boston Celtics is. Their goal is to search for mismatches. They are what you would call mismatch hunting. That's what they want to do. They want to identify and exploit mismatches in the defense. That's their goal. Okay? And they run a lot of isolation, more so for Tatum, and sometimes Brown runs a little bit of isolation too. Brown runs ISO anytime he has smaller defenders on. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Brown, but the Celtics were number 3 in isolation during the regular season, and they were the number 1 team before Minnesota took their spot in the playoffs. So the Celtics run a lot of isolation. I'm saying that for my Brunson dribble people. Okay. But another reason why they look to hunt mismatches, right, is because they want you to double team them. Once you double team them, that's when they're going to reach out to open shooters. Their job, they want to shoot 53s a game, and they want to get as many open threes as they can. So they utilize Jason Tatum primarily, right? High pick and roll action. They run so much high pick and roll action that you guys are going to notice it the first game. I'm going to be talking about it the whole series. That's what they like to do, because they want to put your big man 20 feet out, having to defend on the perimeter, knowing that most centers are not comfortable there, right? The Celtics are very, very efficient at shooting threes. During the regular season, they took the most threes, and they made the most threes, even though they were, I think, 10th in three-point percentage. Doesn't matter. They're still knocking down the three ball at a higher clip than anyone else in basketball. Now, here's another thing. The Celtics are a huge favorite. A huge favorite, okay? I got here from a combination of various sports books. The Boston Celtics are around minus 800 to win the series. We were minus 400 to beat the Pistons. And that minus 800 mark implies that Boston has an 88% chance of advancing. Mostly all the experts pick the Celtics. The Knicks come in at a plus 550. Okay, plus 550. So basically, all these numbers mean if you're not into gambling and betting, that $1 will get you $5.55. So listen, after this show, if you like what I'm saying, you guys should consider going out and picking the Knicks. You could 5 times your money. That's what that means. If you really believe where the Knicks are going to be. I know for game 1, we're opening up at. Hold on, you know what? I'll go into research mode. Because what I could do is I could put the game on the screen. But right now, for game 1, let me get to game 1. I actually watched this overtime game over too last night on condensed. I noticed some things. Let me see. Hold on. See if I can make this a little more appeasing for you guys. And I want to go to playoffs. I know what I'll do. Click on the Knicks. So we can actually look at where we are. So we kind of do like a game 1 preview too. So game 1 will be tomorrow at 7 p.m., which would be Monday the 5th. And we're opening up as a minus 8.5, I think. No, plus 8.5. And the Celtics are minus 8.5. Yeah, so that's the current odds. So you can see it right here. Okay? So we're a big time underdog, right? Now, betting odds aren't everything. However, I look at betting odds. Well, salute to the parlay builders. Sometimes we do build parlays. But I look at the betting odds to get an idea of where we are in the world, because the bookies are not just fans, right? The bookies, this is their job to try to make money. So they are they do their due diligence in trying to make sure that they make the right odds so they can maximize their most money. So Boston, they're a heavy favorite, okay? Heavy favorite. Of course, a lot of this expectations for Boston to beat us came from the regular season. They went 4-0 against us, and Tatum averaged 33 points on 53% shooting. I got a poll too in the community section asking whether or not Tatum can OG Anunoby slow Tatum down, and go vote for that poll if you want to. I don't know the results right now because people are actively voting, but I just want to get my clock set up. But yeah, you could go vote on that poll. I think that's one of the keys to the series, and I'm gonna touch on Tatum, but I'm just giving you guys a brief overview of what to expect. What I think is important knowledge to know going into the series before I get into the 10 reasons why. And by the way, like I said, channel members, feel free to leave comments if you want. I'm gonna be. This is gonna feel like a level-headed Knicks a level-headed Knicks talk show to all the people that was around for the level-headed Knicks talk days. I will be bringing that back, especially when the season is over. But where I just go in for like an hour and I give you guys stats, facts, all the stuff that you can check out. Some of the bright spots, and I'm gonna get into the concerns later, but some of the bright spots, I feel like why I'm confident in the Knicks being able to pull this off in 7 games. Jalen Brunson, not Jalen Brunson, his name is Playoff Brunson. He is balling. He is looking like the playoff MVP once again. And of course, the number one bright spot for me is that the Knicks are healthy. The Knicks are healthy. Their defense has gotten way better and improved, right? And I'm liking what I'm seeing from this squad overall. So those are my 2 bright spots. There's more, but I'm gonna get into the reasons now. I will be going in and out from NBA.com. Let me see if I have my pages. I got the basketball reference up here. So we'll be going to these websites to, reference these websites to get information and stats. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna just stay like this in research mode. So you guys, just in case we got to put something on the screen and look some stuff up. So I'm going to get into the first reason why I think that we'll beat these guys. And I'm very confident that we'll get that job done. So the first reason why we could beat them or how we can beat them. And once again, like when I did the Detroit Pistons 10 reasons, I was telling you things that I thought was going to happen. And we were pretty accurate on most of them, except for, the Detroit Pistons veterans, they balled out. So this here is what I would like to, this is more of what could the Knicks, yes, the Knicks could employ some of these tactics because I did go watch a lot of, basketball over the last couple of days. Salute to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. All the channel members that was in there. The reason why I wasn't as active yesterday, I had a lot of running around to do, but I also was watching a lot of basketball to the point where I didn't even watch that Nuggets game yesterday. But one of the things that we have to do is attack the weak links. That's the first reason. That's the first key to victory. KP, Al Horford, Luke Cornett. Think of those three guys as food. We have to attack those guys on defense. The Orlando Magic, I watched that series. Of course, every series is going to be different. So I'm not expecting Boston to play the same way they played against Orlando against us, because I think that wouldn't be smart. One, I think that you do have to mix it up, right? And you do have to, try new things out. But I'm going to say this. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner exposed the Celtics' interior defense. They couldn't stop them from driving, to the point where I watched the game they lost. That was game 3 with Brian Scalabrine. He was on the mic. He was hosting the show, and he was basically saying, we don't want these guys to drive. That's their greatest fear, was Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner attacking the basket. And honestly, because they had no answer for those two, that's what made some of those games close. Of course, the Celtics closed them out in 5, gentlemen's sweep. But at the same time, the Magic were doing a lot of things that I'm like, whoa, if they would have had Suggs, a better initiator of pick and roll, because he has good size, because they were picking on the Orlando Magic small guards. That's what the Celtics do. Like I said, their goal is to try to find mismatches. That's their only goal on offense. That and open threes. 2 goals for the Celtics. So we got to do some of that back to them. By the way, if you just joined the show, this is the playoff preview, 10 reasons why the Knicks can beat the Celtics. In order to join the chat, you can become a member, and because this is a members only live chat. Salute to Yuri. I see some of the members in the building. Feel free to comment, members. I'm gonna do a lot of talking. Like I said, level-headed Knicks talk style, because I got to get these 10 keys out, and I don't want to make the video too long. But if you do got something interesting to say, put it in the chat. I will read it. Channel members. Okay, so they had no answers to stop those guys. Now, Al Horford was matched up a lot with Paolo and Franz Wagner. They tried to mix it up and mix and match. The Celtics played a big lineup because Jrue Holiday did not play in the first. No, he played the first 2 games. So to close out the series, they went with a big lineup. I didn't even watch the first 2. No, I did watch game 1 real time. I don't think I watched game 2, but I watched games 3, 4, and 5. And so when they went with the bigger lineup, that's why, and I'm gonna get to double big in a second, but when you can play certain lineups against Boston depending on what lineups they go with. So when you have Luke Cornett on the floor, he is a pick and roll target. Now, I made this reference before on the Knicks call-up show, right? I said that the Boston Celtics, they're like an old video game boss back from like the early 90s, where you remember where you fighting the boss, in order to beat the boss, they got a weak link. That's what these Boston Celtics are. So, and to me, their weak link is those 3 guys in pick and roll, high pick and roll, especially anywhere that's on the perimeter. Those 3 guys are food in pick and roll, right? Another key when I talk about weak links, which includes those same 3 players, you have to feed Towns. Towns might have to be, if not the first option, he might have to be the first option in the first quarter. I think you got to get Towns rolling early, right? I think that's the key. And yes, he does falter sometimes in the second half, but I think a confidence Towns, especially by the second quarter, when Brunson's out of the game, I do think that Towns at some point has to be the focal point of the offense, because I'm going to tell you, based off what I've seen with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, the Celtics do not have any one player that's going to be able to guard Karl-Anthony Towns, right? Now, I brought up health. We are healthy. The Celtics are dealing with some ailing injuries. Tatum, I think he had the wrist joint. Brown also has a wrist injury too. He fell on his wrist in game 3. I did peep that. But he still played. He didn't miss no time. And he also is dealing with a knee issue, right? Drew Holiday's dealing with a hamstring. Boston is not 100% healthy. So usually you'll see Drew Holiday guarding Karl-Anthony Towns, right? If you see Drew Holiday guarding Towns, Towns has to go to work. Sort of like how he did in game 4, the game that I actually had up on the screen, where the Knicks and Celtics in the regular season, where it went to overtime and Towns balled out. He had like 34 and 13. I think that Towns needs to be 26 and 13 for us to have the best chance of beating these Boston Celtics, who are vulnerable, believe it or not. Definitely are vulnerable, believe it or not. And another key that I don't think we've seen thus far in these Celtics games is OG Anunoby, his emergence on the floor. And I'm going to go to his page right quick. Let me go back into research mode. OG Anunoby, I'm going to pull up. I can't remember what he individually did against Boston, but we've seen OG Anunoby be able to put up points. And let me center this. And get buckets and also have to defend the opposing team's best player, right? So I think OG Anunoby is a key factor in this series offensively. In the postseason, he has been the third option, right? In the postseason, since I'm here, I could pull it up. He is averaging 18 points a game, which puts him as the third option currently on this team. And I do want to go to his game logs in the regular season, so we could actually see what he did against Boston. So this is OG Anunoby's numbers against Boston right here. And I'm going to highlight here so we can see. Okay, cool. So let me see if I get the points. All right. I'm not sure if you guys can see the points, but it's cool. I'll just read it off because the window's not wide enough. But anyway, no problem. So Boston here, against Boston, he had a 13-point game, a 10-point game, a 4-point game, and he only played against 3 games against Boston. I think OG Anunoby may find some success in trying to score against Tatum. I know that might sound crazy because Tatum is a great defender, but my logic here is putting OG Anunoby in some actions, even if OG has to come off a screen, right? Or OG has to, dive and move around and cut and backdoor cuts like he does. Like a lot of his baskets, I can't remember the exact percentage, but a lot of OG Anunoby's points do come from being assisted by other guys. So put Tatum in positions where he has to play defense and offense. And OG Anunoby usually is his assignment for the most part. Sometimes he might get the hard assignment. It depends on who the Celtics have on the floor. They do a lot of different crafty things. It's never just one way with Boston. You're going to have to be able to adapt. So that's the first key. The first key is to attack the weak links. By the way, so I see the channel members coming in the building. Salute to you guys. This is a channel member show, live chat show. So if you do want to join the live chat, become a member, you get instant access to the chat and more perks. I'll get into some of the perks a little bit later, but this is a member show. So, but you guys can still enjoy the show. Make sure you hit the like button, right? Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Okay. And if you are, like I said, if you are subscribed, consider joining the channel. But I see HRM the Great in the building. Let me see. Yuri throw that D20. Maybe the Knicks can win. By the way, Crim's dad, right? And salute the Crims. Salute the Crims. All right. That's gonna be my new intro for you, Crim's dad. Salute the Crims. You said that Coach Tibbs is coaching this team. Could I ask you a favor, Crim's dad? Could you please give us a shot? I'm begging you, Crim's dad. Give us an opportunity against these Celtics. They have some vulnerabilities that I'm going to get into. They're not 100% healthy. We understand that they're extreme favorite, 88% chance of winning, but those are just numbers. It still has to be done on the floor. Give yourself an opportunity. Don't count yourself out yet, right? Because he said, how is that objective? Remember, the Knicks have Tibbs. And that's what Yuri was trying to say to him. Okay, Crims. Okay, Crims dad. All right, you believe in the Knicks. That's all I want. Listen, Crims dad, I need the energy high. Okay, we have a shot here, right? Despite the odds, I just told you the odds. Yes, I understand. This is a David Goliath story. We're a huge underdog. I understand that. This is the objective Knicks fan, level-headed Knicks talk. I'm not coming in here with no, crap, no delusional Knicks fan crap. This is real talk. Okay, so I need you guys to have confidence. Crim's dad says we just need Brunson, like a performer. We need Brunson-like performance for the entire starting five. Yes. And I'm gonna hint to some of that as well. I'm gonna definitely hint to some of that as well. Okay, so my second key to victory. Now, guys, this one right here is just me. I don't know if the Knicks are gonna do it. I'm still gonna elaborate on it. Some of you guys may have heard me say this before, but I think my wacky lineup, and I'm gonna call it a wacky lineup because no one's really feeling it, but I think that the Knicks should seriously consider, not for the whole game, right? Because you cannot guard Boston one way. I'll come my research more. I would strongly consider, okay, putting Towns, because the starting lineups are going to be the same, and more than likely Jrue Holiday is going to be there. So this is contingent on Jrue Holiday being there. Now, if Jrue Holiday does not play game one, okay, if he does not play game one, I would consider going to the double big lineup for at least 25 minutes and let Mitch play 30 plus minutes this game. Because if Jrue Holiday is not playing, then they're starting Horford, right? Horford and KP. Now, Mitch is going to have to take the Al Horford challenge. And I'm going to get to why in a little bit later, why you have to take the Al Horford challenge. Because Al Horford's a corner boy. So he's going to have to be able to guard on the perimeter. Okay? Now, that's my alternative scenario if Jrue Holiday's not there. Now, if Jrue Holiday is there and they go with the normal Brown, Holiday, White, Tatum, KP, if that's the lineup, this is how I would like to guard them. Now, I did notice something in watching the Magic series, but I think that was just a Magic-centered thing, but it could present itself in the future as well. I want to put Towns on Brown. I'm going to get to why you want to put Towns on Brown later. I'm going to explain that, no worries. But Towns on Brown, just hold that thought. I'm going to put Hart on KP. The only reason why I'm saying to do this, it sounds crazy, is because KP is perimeter-centric. He shoots a lot of his fadeaways and post-ups are from 18 feet out. He doesn't really post up low. So I could live with him posting up Hart. I'm not sure what happened to my life. I could live with Hart being post up, 18 to 20 feet out. Of course, if he gets Hart and he's 10 feet away, that's barbecue chicken, right? That's lunch meat. It's food. I'm not saying if KP's playing low to stick with that. If that's going to be the response, then ditch it, right? This is just my wacky lineup. But I know KP. KP is a perimeter-centric big. All his offense is from mostly the key, but he has been against Orlando being featured a little closer to the basket, but that's usually off of multiple actions. So, like, sometimes you might see Horford doing a pick and roll and actually rolling, but when he's rolling, he's also, when he catches the ball, he's passing the ball, and they caught a lot of open opportunities with KP on the backside getting dunks. I did notice that against Orlando. So if they're going to play that way, ditch my wacky lineup. But if they're not going to play that way and they want to shoot threes and Tatum wants to be 20 feet away from the basket, I'm saying, okay, let's put size on Brown. And I'm going to get into that later, why that's important. And then Bridges on White. Bridges has to take the Derek White assignment because Bridges has become the fourth option. But Derek White for the Boston Celtics, and I got the numbers somewhere. You guys know I got a million notes everywhere. Let me see if I could pull it up. Derek White, okay, yeah, you see notes right here. You know what I mean? Notes everywhere. So Derek White in the postseason, he's averaging 17 points a game. He is the official third option for the Boston Celtics. So Bridges has to dominate that White matchup. And I think that'd be a great matchup. And if he could slow White down, because White does have the green light to create offense. So Bridges, that will be his assignment. A lot easier than Cade Cunningham. Not that White is soft and he's just, some easy work, but he is easier work than Cade. So coming from Cade Cunningham going to Derek White, I need him to shut Derek White down. Okay? And my third reason is no open threes. So my wacky lineup also helps with the no open threes. Just not 3-point defense. It has to be no open threes. Against the Detroit Pistons, we gave up a lot of open threes. They missed. I wish I had the stat on how many open threes the Pistons missed. How many times had you seen Beasley and Hardaway out there and they're missing open shots, right? So another key to this, my wacky lineup in the no open threes, I'm combining these two for a second, is that you have to switch everything. You have to switch everything. It's going to be very difficult to do with Brunson on the floor, but it's something that if Brunson's not involved in the action, I expect to see switching. I don't want to lose sight of anyone on the high screen and roll. If you get caught lost in the sauce, trying to blitz Tatum, right? Trying to double team Brown from 20 feet out, they're going to kill you because they're not selfish. They will pass the ball and get those shooters, them corner threes. That's what they want. Elbow threes, open. Do not give that up, right? So my wacky lineup helps with that too because now you don't really have to double. Maybe KP if he's low, but if KP's low, we're not going to use my wacky lineup. But I'm going to spend some time on no open threes now. As I see some more members in the building. Salute to all the members. I see you guys chat. Let me see if there's anything good that I'm missing from the members. Tibbs will keep them down, not bringing them to their potential. Crims Dad, I disagree. How could you say he's not bringing them to their potential when OG Anunoby's probably having the best season of his career? Josh Hart definitely is having the best season of his career. Karl-Anthony Towns is probably having the best season of his career. All-star starter, first time. Jalen Brunson, amazing as always, had the best season stretch of his career. All these guys are having the best seasons and stretches of their career, so how can you say he's not bringing them to their potential? The only player that you probably would say is not reaching their career level highs is Mikal Bridges, but Mikal is okay because you can carve a new lane in the postseason. Maybe this series can be a Mikal Bridges series because I like him in the White matchup if he's focused. And if we can, focus on maybe switching and not just trying to double and help from 20 feet out, right? You can't double and help from 20 feet out. I'm the great. Salute to you. Salute to all the members. I like that Hart likes the top of the key three. Needs to be aggressive. Facts. That's another major key. And I think I'm going to touch on that. Josh Hart has to bring it to the, to the table. You know what? I'm confident in Hart because he did it the last couple of games against the Pistons where he became a little bit more aggressive. Okay. Yuri says, all I know is Crim's dad is going to pop bottles when Tibbs is out of here. Well, Tibbs is not going to be out of here. Tibbs is not going to be out of here. At least not after this season because I think that we're going to do well. And I think we could beat Boston, but I think we also have the potential to make this a really good series. Because the Magic did some things, and I'm like, it's the Orlando Magics. We're definitely better than them, especially without Jalen Suggs. Now, no open threes, right? We know that during the regular season, if you look at it as a complete body, we were susceptible to the three ball. We gave up 36.7% to three. That put us at 26 in 3-point percentage defense. However, and I talked about this on the Pistons keys, that post All-Star break, we were 34%. 34%. Okay? And Go back into research mode because I feel like I'm gonna have to go into some NBA.com stuff in a second. But I'm just gonna read out the stats I have as well. So post All-Star break, we've been giving up 34% to opponent 3-point percentage, and that put us as fourth best during that stretch, right? And then if you want to go a little bit further in the postseason, right? The Detroit Pistons. Give me 2 seconds. I got a whole bunch. I got like 10 pages of notes. Give me 2 seconds. So in the regular season, okay, the Detroit Pistons, they shot 32% from three against the Detroit Pistons. Now, they weren't the greatest three-point shooting team in the regular season. I think their average on the regular season was 35%. So we had the -3 in the postseason. That's a win. That's a win for our defense, even though, like I said, I do think Detroit missed a lot of open threes. That's besides the point. It is the playoffs, so playoff threes are going to be a lot harder than regular season threes, except for, of course, if you're the Boston Celtics, who actually, I think the Boston Celtics, they maintain their three-point percentage. But I'm gonna touch on some of Boston's shooting in a second. But I'm gonna stick to well, actually, you know what? Yeah, this is the time because I am talking about three-point percentage. So I'm on the third key right now, guys. This is no open threes, okay? No open threes. So our three-point defense has gotten better post All-Star break and in the playoffs against Boston. Now, Boston, they are a completely different monster. Percentage-wise, they're not the best three-point shooting team, but in the postseason, they're still shooting 38%, right? In the regular season, they actually upped their percentage from 30 to 38%. They were shooting 37%. So they increased it 1 percentage point. But however, the Boston Celtics are attempting and making less threes in the postseason. They're attempting 31 threes, which is like -17 from the 48 threes that they made during the regular season, or that they attempted. They're making 11.8 threes in the postseason. In the regular season, they made 17.8. So you're talking about a -7 drop. -7 drop on three-pointers attempted, on three-pointers made, and a -17 drop on three-pointers attempted. Now, will that continue against us? I hope, right? Because the 15-3 mark is a magic number for Boston. It's a magic number for Boston, okay? Anytime Boston makes 15 threes or more, they are 51-14. So that means that they had 65 games where they made 15 threes or more, okay? They get up a lot of threes, right? And they are winning. They're playing winning basketball when they shoot these threes, and they still shoot it at a high percentage. Okay. Now they averaged. Okay, I'm not even going to touch on that stat. I had another stat, but I'm gonna keep it at the 15. The 15. Just keep the 15 threes in mind, right? Now in this postseason, the Boston Celtics, they haven't had a game. Well, I think they might have had. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm right here. So against Orlando, the Boston Celtics, they had one game where they had more than 15 threes. Okay, and of course, that was one of their blowout wins. I could actually put that on the screen so you guys can see it as well. Let's see. Open up a Celtics tab. So the Boston Celtics, they're not as concerned with attempting threes as they were in the regular season. But once again, that could just be a series-wide thing. It is something to take heed to, going into, a series against them. And these are the numbers here. I got it on the screen so you can see it. So this is the Boston's playoff numbers. Like I said, 11.8 attempted. 11.8 made, 31.2 attempted. Okay. Regular season, big drop, right? So only in one game did they reach the 15-3 mark. But they still were successful because the Magic, let's face it, their offense is limited, especially without Jalen Suggs, right? Especially without Jalen Suggs. So we got to continue that trend. If we can hold the Celtics to under 15 threes, I think that will bode well for us. in the 4 games that we played against the Celtics in the regular season, I don't have that on the screen, but I do have it here. It's in my notes. So they lit us up in the regular season, right? We never made, of course, we never got to the 15-3 mark. That would be a great mark if we could get to that mark. But for the Boston Celtics, every single game, every single game, they had more than 15 threes. In fact, the lowest amount of threes they had against us in the regular season was 17 threes. 17 threes, okay? And the Boston Celtics in every single game, they had 38% or better against us. So you already know that based off of the regular season stats to the guys that have been rocking with me, right? This is why you guys need to subscribe and stay subscribed. In the regular season, when the opposing team shot 38% or better, right? Our record is 15-21. We have a losing record against teams that torched us. No wonder why we don't beat Boston. So my thing is this. When Boston and Tatum is shooting those contested long-range threes, I can live with that. If Tatum makes 6 long-range threes contested, I can live with that. The problem is the open threes. That's what I'm concerned about because the Knicks are privy and they tend to give up a lot of open threes. Okay? By the way, salute to everybody that just joined the show, all the members. This is a members-only live chat, but this show's open to everyone to watch. Feel free to definitely crack that like button, and I want to salute some of the members that just joined. Crim's dad said Crim's dad says I'm on Tibbs' payroll. Stop it. You know what? I'm gonna get Crims on you, Crim's dad. I think he will slow you down in your Tibbs bashing. I'm the great. Should we let Brown shoot away? I'm gonna get to Brown in a second. Salute to Keith Watkins, man. Salute to you, man. Hopefully you feeling well and in good health and good spirits, man. Greetings from the ATL. I see you in the building, man. I'm great says if Mitch brings his A game, yeah, I think that Mitch to go backwards because my first key was attack the weak links. So I think that Mitchell Robinson will be instrumental in being able to keep Luke Cornett off the boards, right? Because the weak links, of course, is KP, Al Horford, and Luke Cornett. High pick and roll action. So I think that Mitch has to keep Luke Cornett, all those guys off the boards if he can do that. However, I am going to say this. I would keep Mitch away from KP. I don't want Mitch to match up against KP. I think that that's a nightmare assignment for him. And KP, he's going to be extra confident and he's going to be popping all day. Once they see Mitch is on KP, it's going to be a pick and pop fest. So if I was Coach Tibbs, Crim's dad, I would keep Mitch out of that action. But definitely salute to you guys, right? Salute. I appreciate all the members in the building. Also, I appreciate everybody that's watching the show as well. Make sure you hit that like button. Oh, and before I continue, guys, you notice I got behind me, I got the big Bodega Cat shirt right here. I got this also in mugs, like this mug right here. This is a Captain 11 mug. I'm waiting on my Bodega Cat mug to get to me, but I also got the Bodega Cat in mug form. That's my hottest selling item right now. The Bodega Cat. Matter of fact, I got it on this right here. You see the mug right there? Bam. Everybody love that mug right there. And also the light version to the Captain 11 mug. Go to the shop, man. Shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Cop the merch. All my merch has great price. I'm not beating you guys over the head. Of course, we got the Captain 11 t-shirts as well. Definitely go to the shop and check it out. It's fire. But I love the Bodega Cat, man. Oh, man. The material feels so nice. When you test the material, man, it's high quality stuff, man. Go check it out. Shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, or you could go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. You could also go to the link that's on the screen, thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. When you get there, you click on shop, you'll be able to see it. Actually, there's also a featured post on the website where you could go see all the merch. So, yeah, definitely go support the merch, guys. I do appreciate everyone who's bought a mug or who's bought a shirt. I do appreciate you guys, man. Hey, man, listen, I want to salute our best 2 players. I got more lines coming, but right now we rocking with the Captain 11, right? Playoff Brunson. Salute the Playoff Brunson. I'm so proud of that guy. Like, I really think that Boston's going to have a hard time slowing him down. For sure. Guaranteed. And, of course, the big Bodega, man. You know, he didn't have the greatest performances against the Detroit. I thought he had some really good games, but I think this is his time to shine because Boston showed me that they cannot deal with big men who can attack them on the inside, right? Who can attack them on the inside. So I'm going to get to my fourth key. All right. So the fourth key is DRM. I don't know if I coined that phrase. Maybe I did. I don't know. But DRM is basically dominating the rebound matchup. Very important stat for the Knicks all year. Something that we kept track of all year, right? Salute to the notes. You guys know I stay with the notes. So DRM is so important for us because anytime we dominate the rebounding matchup, which is pretty much just getting more rebounds than the opposing team, we have a 35-10 record. Okay? We have a 35-10 record every time we decide to do that. And I think against the Boston Celtics, it's going to be mightily important because in the regular season, the Boston Celtics, they were actually an 8th ranked rebounding team. They averaged 45 bounds a game. So I think the Celtics are better than they were the previous year. You know, since we're in research mode, we could actually pull that up. I think they were, let me see, right here. Oh, wow, it says -2.5. So that means they were better last year. Hold on, let's go to last season to see. Because I don't remember Boston being that good of a rebounding team. Oh, no, they were. Oh, wow, they were a good rebounding team last year. They were second in rebounds. So the Boston Celtics are they're just, like when you see the three balls, it's easy to think that team is just a perimeter centric team. No, sir. They will get buckets inside. And in fact, when you look at the 2-point percentage, right? Oh, I'm not in research mode. My bad, guys. I'm sorry about that. But I'm back in research mode now. Let me just make sure this is right. Yeah. Okay. So this is this season, right? So when you look at the Boston Celtics, right? 45.3 rebounds. They still top 10 in rebounds, right? They are a very, very big team. Very big team. And look, when you look at 2-point percentage, they're 57% from 2-point percentage. They're third best in the league at 2. So they're not just a 3-point shooting team as well, even though they don't take as many 2-point shots, but they are lethal. They are lethal inside the 3-point arc as well. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah, they don't take a lot of 2-point shots, but they're very efficient. And I think part of the reason why they're efficient is because they get a lot of easy opportunities. I'm not gonna say a lot. I'm gonna say for Horford, Cornette, KP, they get those guys easy opportunities at the basket as well. And they're big. So rebounding is a major key. But the good news is we have a healthy Mitchell Robinson. Why is Mitchell Robinson such a major key? Let me see if I can show you. Being I'm on the Celtics page, which I hate coming to the Celtics page. I do not like Boston, y'all. Boston, all sports teams from Boston, to me, they're arch nemesis, right? I'm going to show you guys something, right? Even though I got to do it from their page. When you look at the overtime win, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to really be able to see it. I'm going to back out of it because it's not going to show up too clearly because it's a lot of columns and rows, but I'll just read it out for you. All right? I'll read it out for you. So when you look at the Knicks and the Celtics regular season battles, we lost all 4 games. But to me, one of the most telling things about our playoff series with the Boston Celtics is definitely the glass, right? So in 4 of the games, 3 out of 4 of the games, the Boston Celtics, they dominated the rebounding matchup. They killed us on the glass. But in the one game where Mitchell Robinson was there, the one game that Mitch played was the overtime game. We was plus 14 on the glass. And that's why, to me, the game was close. Because Mitch's rebounding, even though he only had 7 boards that game, I believe it was 7 boards, he only played 16 minutes. That was enough to keep Cornette and those other guys off of the glass. And you know what? We right here. We could actually pull it up. Let's see. Right? Just so we could be extra thorough. Definitely could put that on the screen. Right? And you guys will be able to see that pretty clear. So I think when you watch this game, if you got time, guys, if you got League Pass, or if you got you're going to need League Pass, or you're going to need to have to record this on your DVR from your cable provider. But if you go back and you watch this game right here, I really feel like this game holds a lot of the keys to this series, right? The way this game was played, I feel like it definitely will give you a lot of insight as to what to expect to come, during this series. Look, so KP killed us though. See, part of this was Mitch. It wasn't all Mitch, but you see this 8 of 13 from KP, right? Major open threes. A lot of these threes were open. That's why I said with the third key, we got to keep them off of from shooting threes. But you can see it here, 38 rebounds from the Celtics. The Knicks, which Karl Anthony Towns, 14 bounds. This is what we need from Towns. We need 12 rebounds. We need 12 rebounds, Towns. He has to average at least 12 rebounds in this series. Okay? Josh Hart, if he can get on the glass, which there'll be opportunities for Hart to get on the glass as well. But I wouldn't mind if we up Mitchell Robinson's minutes, because right now, and I do got it somewhere, I think Mitchell Robinson, Mitch is averaging 16.5 minutes. I would love to get Mitch's minutes up to 22.5. If we could get Mitch's minutes up to 22.5 and he could get us 10 rebounds in the series, that's going to be a major key, but also helping locking off the paint. 2 blocks, right? So when Mitch was on the floor, he was a -1, right? Which I take that, but he was very effective in this game. And I like I said, I really do believe that. So let me duplicate this tab because I feel like we're gonna have to come back to this game. But I really do believe that Mitchell Robinson is the key to this series, especially against the weak links, except for KP. I want to keep Mitchell Robinson as far away from KP as possible. And Drew Holiday he's still a game time decision. Okay, so rebounding is major, right? I got some more stats for you. The Boston Celtics, right? When anytime they get, make sure I'm reading this right. So when the Boston Celtics get 44 rebounds, which is their average, right? The average was about, what was their average again? They average 45.3 rebounds. So pretty much when they get their rebound around their rebound average or more, they are 35-9. So them being dominating the glass and hitting their numbers on the glass is important for the Celtics as well. We got to keep the Celtics off of the glass. And matter of fact, since we're here, we could also go to, I don't show the last 5 games. Okay, that's no problem. We could also go to the game log so we could see exactly what they did. Oh, it's going to be hard to see, but no, it's not that hard to see. So against the Orlando Magic, right, you can see that they had some games, and then the one loss, which is highlighted on the screen, this is the loss. They had 39 rebounds. I believe the Magic, they also were out-rebounded. Yes. So the Magic out-rebounded. In the one loss they had to Orlando, the Orlando Magic out-rebounded the Celtics. They bullied the Celtics. They pretty much, they turned the Celtics into, to their lunch meat in the paint. They really were dominant that game in the paint. They were running pick and roll action with the Carter kid from Duke. Salute to Duke. There was a lot of Duke in that series. I am a Duke fan. Hopefully that don't turn you guys off. But there was a lot of Duke action going on in that game, okay? Now, I have another stat here. I'm just trying to understand what the hell it is. Is it plus, minus? I got a 37 and 13. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, okay, I got it. So when the Celtics dominate when they get more, okay, I got it. So because the Celtics, they average, let me put the average on the screen so you guys can see it. So let's go back. I got it. Sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting, y'all. But anyway, so on the offensive rebounds, they average about 11.4. So anytime the Celtics get plus 11 or more rebounds, they are 37 and 13. So DRM dominating the rebounding matchup. I'm really concerned about the defensive glass. We have to dominate the defensive glass for a multitude of reasons. One, we know that second chance threes. The Celtics, they want open threes, and that's what you're going to give them if you're not crashing the glass. So you got to keep them off the glass. And in the Orlando Magic series, which I could go back to that. So I'm going to go back to game logs so you guys can see it. In the Orlando Magic series, which should be, hold on. Oh, I'm in 2024. Let me get to the right year. Okay, cool. So now I'm in 2025. So in the Orlando Magic series, okay? When you look at the offensive glass, once again in the one loss to Orlando, they had 8 rebounds. You see that? 8 rebounds. So we got to keep them off the offensive glass. How we do that? Dominating the rebounding matchup, but dominating the defensive rebounding matchup. Okay? So that's a major key for us. I'm going to move on to the next one. Double big lineup. And I'm going to look into the chat. Oh my God. Maxine, are you a member? Did you become a member, Maxine? Or can Mods chat? I didn't know if Mods could chat. Let's see. Loving the content, become a member. I think Mods can chat in a member show. I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing a members only live. But salute to you, Maxine. I'm not sure if you became a member so you could chat. But either way, salute to Maxine. Like she said, definitely get the likes up, y'all. Even if you're not a member, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. So that way you can know all the content. I do got some good things coming up. We got the podcast on Monday. Should be at noon. Sometimes I'm late. Hey, it's life. But yeah, it should be at noon. Look out for the podcast on noon. And I'm going to update the live schedule. Probably by tomorrow morning, you'll see all of the future lives I want to do. We're going to do the podcast Monday. I'm also going to do some post-game shows too. I'm not sure exactly which post-game shows. So, after the game, we're going to go live. It'll probably be like right before midnight or around midnight after the game. So be on the lookout for that as well. And of course, the Knicks call-up show every single Friday at 10:45. All right. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing. Yuri says this series is going to come down to execution. Facts. But don't forget to smash the like button. I'm going to continue. So my 5th key will be the double big lineup, which we will see. But the double big lineup, I think I forgot my water outside. It's fine. The double big lineup, but with a caveat. Like I said earlier, I hinted to this earlier. I want to keep Mitchell Robinson away from KP. Okay? I come out of research. I want to keep Mitchell Robinson away from KP. I think that it's a huge concern for me because I seen last season. Matter of fact, was it last year? Yeah, last year was the year they did the trade for KP and Holiday. I remember watching vividly the first game, KP get 30 on top of Mitchell Robinson's head. Pause. But from, 3 pick and pop opportunities. Anytime we run the double big lineup, I would prefer it to be with one of the other bigs on the floor. Horford's out there, Lou Cornette. Sometimes they play Cornette with KP. That's the perfect time to run double big lineup. If KP is out there with Tatum, I don't know if that's the right time to run the double big lineup unless you're going to take an element from my wacky lineup that I mentioned earlier where you're going to put Towns on Brown, right? And I'm going to get to that next. I'm going to talk about Brown next. I don't want Mitch nowhere near KP. I think that's is a recipe for disaster. Another thing, too, like I said, Horford, KP. Another key thing about the double big lineup, if Brunson's on the floor, whoever Deuce is on the floor, whatever guard is out there, you got to run pick and roll with Mitch. And you know what? I got the candidate. Yo, guys, the guy I want to see run more pick and roll with Mitch is Mikal Bridges. There was one play, I can't remember the game, where they actually ran a 2-5 pick and roll with Mitch and Bridges, and it led to an alley hoop. And I said, yo, next year, Crim's dad, this is for you. I hope that next season we get to see more of those wrinkles. Because like I said, all of the fire tips people, Tibbs didn't have no time with this group, right? He had a 2-week training camp. He didn't even get a chance to prepare for the team that he had because we made a trade. We traded 2 key players. 2 starters from last year we traded for Karl Anthony Towns. And then so now you go into a training camp, you got to retool everything all in the same flow. He didn't get a summer to work on his team, knowing his rosters. July comes, you know who you got. We did the Bridges trade. So now you got all these wrinkles, but now you got to change everything. Boom, a Towns trade happens, right? So I'm hoping next year you see Bridges coming off the Rip Hamilton curls. I keep talking about Bridges, Rip Hamilton curls. You know what I'm saying? Getting some open shots. I would love to see that be implemented, but when Mitch is on the floor, double big lineup, you got to run pick and roll. Hell, you know what I would like to also see too? I would like to see Towns 4-5 pick and roll with Mitch. So like, you know, let's say they put KP on Mitch, right? Or Luke Cornett on Mitch, or however they decide to do it. Towns, go get a screen from Mitch, force the mismatch. And now you get the barbecue chicken, the weak links. I keep telling you, Horford, Cornett, those guys are weak links. So double big lineup with a caveat, right? Got to use him in pick and roll. You got to keep him away from KP. And Mitch is going to have to, if he's guarding Horford, he's going to have to make sure he's attentive to where, or he pays attention to where Horford is on the floor, because Horford is a corner maestro. Okay? He's a corner maestro, and I'm going to get to why in a second. Why you got to worry about Al Horford. And that's my caveat with the double big lineup. And honestly, anytime Luke Cornett is subbed into the game, and Mitch coming in the game, I don't care who's on the floor. Anytime Luke Cornett comes into the game, if I was coaching, like I said, some of this is things that I would like to see happen, but you never know, it could happen. I'm giving us guys a shot. And I didn't say this earlier, or I didn't double down on it, but the title of the video is how the Knicks could win in 7. That's my official pick, right? I know I'm going against the odds, but I'm riding with the New York City, the New York Knicks. I'm riding with my guys. I think that, you know, we could honestly pull it off if we do a lot of the things that I'm saying and more, right? Salute to Coach Tibbs. Salute to the Brain Trust, the assistant coaches, all those guys. I think that they are going to be able to do what they got to do. But I would love to see anytime Cornett's out there and Mitch comes on the floor, okay? Now, and of course, the reason why, too, because Cornett, he's a crafty rebounder. So I want to put my best rebounder, or my best offensive rebounder at least, put him out there. And I still think that pound for pound, Mitchell Robinson. Oh, also, I do got a Luke Cornett stat, being that I'm talking about Cornett, right? I had to go watch the Boston Celtics broadcast to learn this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because not every day do you get a Luke Cornett stat plug, right? Since I'm talking about him. What was it? Luke Cornett. I just want to make sure I have it right before I say it. They said Luke Cornett, pound for pound, was the number 2 rebounder. I think per possession or something like that. Per 36 or something like that. Can't find it. I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but he's like the number 2 pound for pound when you look at per minute or per possession. He's the number 2 rebounder. So you're going to have to keep him off the glass, even though he's not going to get a lot of rebounds because he doesn't get a lot of minutes. And right now on the year, we just go back in research mode. On the year, Luke Cornett, I'm going to get out of game logs. All right, let me go to the regular season number. Luke Cornett on the year is averaging 4.1 rebounds, but he's only playing 15.6 minutes. Okay, so it don't look scary, but it is something to deal with, especially in the playoff series. And you're going small. He's only getting 10 minutes in the playoffs. Okay, but when he's out there, Mitch needs to be out there for this entire 10 minutes that he's there. He has to be there. Now I'm gonna move on to Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown, we know Jaylen Brown, and I'm gonna get him on the screen. Jaylen Brown, to honestly, I don't want to go there. Jaylen Brown, to me, honestly, he is probably the most important player in this series. And I know Tatum is the best player on Boston. I'm not a part of that debate where people, they want to take shots at Tatum, right? First off, I'm a Duke fan, so of course I'm not cheering for Tatum because he's going up against my Knicks, but I tend to, want to see the guys from Duke do well, right? And it's a lot of them. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but Jason Tatum for sure is the best player on Boston. That's not a debate for me. He averages the most points, I think the most rebounds, takes the most shots. He does everything for Boston. But Jaylen Brown, right? And this is what his average is. I believe this is against New York. Yes. 16.3 points per game. And he's shooting 33% from three. Now, somebody earlier, I'm not sure if it was you, HRM the Great, somebody brought up Jaylen Brown, 3-point shooting, let him shoot threes. I'm going to touch on that now. My key to victory is put size on Brown. And yes, HRM the Great, because look at these numbers. I'm willing to let Jaylen Brown shoot. Let the man shoot. He's only shooting 33%. That's not going to kill you in the postseason, right? We know the Celtics are also taking less threes. Let me see if I could get there. Let me go back to their postseason so we can see what he's actually averaging on the postseason instead of just the against us. So on the postseason, Jaylen Brown, he's averaging 23 points. So he's balling. And in fact, he had a really good game one, or was that game one or game two? One of those early games against the Magic where Tatum didn't play. And he balled out. He was basically in Jason Tatum's role. And it took me by complete surprise because I didn't think Jaylen Brown was that prolific at creating away from the basket. But he is a freak of nature athlete. He's huge. He wants to attack but he wants to attack smaller defenders. That's his whole game. That's his whole game. I actually wrote it down in my notes here. This is from the game 3 game that the Magic won. That was the first game I went back to go watch. So there was a point in the game, right, where Jaylen Brown would have the ball and Derek White is being guarded by one of their small guards because the Magic, they went with Cole Anthony and Corey Joseph. So there were points in time where Corey Joseph or Cole Anthony would get the Derek White assignment. And I felt bad for Cole Anthony because they would punish him every single time. I mean, like I said, the number one goal of the Celtics, hunt down mismatches. But Derek White, he'll go set a screen for Jaylen Brown. And when he sets the screen for Jaylen Brown, you switch the pick and roll, and now the small guard is on Brown. And that's where Brown does his ISO work. So if I would sag off, right, because we see what he's averaging against the Knicks, not playing that well against the Knicks, Jaylen Brown, right? So in order for them to beat us, and like I said, I mean, they've been punishing us, so I'm not trying to stunt like we all of that with the bag of chips when we were getting killed. But this brother right here, he has to do better than this. Because if he's doing this in the playoffs, Boston is cooked. They're not shooting as much threes, right? We talked about that. And I would sag off him until he starts killing you. So if they do run the pick and roll with Brunson, I would bring the help over on the drive. Let Brunson stay on the island. I don't want to double team Boston on the perimeter. I think it's just stupid. I think it's dumb. You're going to get killed. Anytime the Magic did that, they would get cooked. Do not double team the Celtics on. I know it sounds crazy. What do you mean don't double team them? Jason Tatum is amazing out there. But I'm going to get to Tatum next, okay? But if you have to double team Boston on the perimeter, you lost. You lost. And size on Brown, because like I said, he looks for the mismatch. He's the number one mismatch hunter on the Celtics. And this is why I said put Towns on him. Start with Towns on him. So that way, when they run the screen and roll, now you get a guard on him, hopefully. Hopefully it's not Brunson. Because if Brunson's guarding Holiday or White, those guys set screens. Everybody because they play 5 out, everybody sets screens. You'll see guards setting screens for KP. Anybody can set a screen because they're trying to force the mismatch. So my concern is also Brunson and pick and roll. And if I have time, I'm going to talk about Brunson. I think I'm going to talk about, I'm going to get to Brunson and pick and roll. That is a concern. But you got to put size on Brown. So some of you guys don't want to hear this, but I would put Precious Achiuwa in. I would play him at moments in this series. Not every game, but if Brown is killing us, and Precious Achiuwa, guard Jaylen Brown. Guard Jaylen Brown. That's what I would do. So that way they gotta use pick and roll. Anytime they gotta use pick and roll, first off, Boston, they're a slow-paced team like us. They're the slowest paced team in basketball. They were 30th in pace, right? So I think I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later too. Bottom line is, anytime they gotta run multiple actions and they gotta use a lot of time on the clock, typically, you don't get the best shot. You don't get the best shot. So all these things are kind of interconnected. But that's why I want to put size so they can exhaust the pick and roll attempt, right? But I might even, here's another thing that I don't think Orlando did, at least in the games that I watched over. No one goes under screens. I would go under the Jaylen Brown screen. I don't remember seeing that being a factor there. I would go under the screen. Let him kill me from three. Was he shooting in the playoffs again? So Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. Oh, no, I can't. No, you can't go under. He's shooting 44%. Yeah, you can't go. But he's shooting 44%, but he's only making 1.6 threes. So yeah, you can't go under. Scrap that. Yeah, don't go under. Yeah, you can't go under on the Celtics. That's why we didn't see that in Orlando. But he's not shooting a lot of threes, though. He's not even really making 2 threes. Now, that's my dream, Precious Achiuwa. I know it's not going to happen. So I'm going to give a realistic alternative. Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart going to have to take the challenge. They're going to have to take the Derek White and Jaylen Brown challenge. So one of those guys got to step up and say, you know what? That's my assignment. I got that. Let me lock that up. Because Bridges, you know, he got the height, he got the length, but he ain't got the size. Brown is going through you. He's like a throwback player. He is not crossing you over to cross you over. He wants to get some leverage in space so he can drive through you. Contact driver. He's one of the guys, the physicality from coming from Detroit, dealing with Cade Cunningham. I'm glad we had that experience because that's going to prepare us for the Jaylen Brown challenge. And to me, he's the most important player in the series because of this. The 16.3 points a game against the Knicks in the regular season. He hadn't really brought it against us. And I think that we need to continue that trend. Because in the postseason, he's averaging 23. All right? So yeah, that's another key for me right there. I'm going to get to the 7th key, but in a second, let me see if I see some good members in the building. Salute to all the members that joined. And by the way, if you are watching this show, hit the like button, even if you're not a member. But if you want to join the live chat and join the channel, not just to be a part of the chat, you know, hit that join button, get up in there and, you know, support. And you know, it helps to grow the channel. If you like the channel and you're a subscriber, especially you've been rocking with me for a while, consider joining the channel. You get a lot of good perks. You get inside the Discord server, the Knicks Tape Madness. Salute to everybody that's inside the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. And we have great conversations in there. We got a 24/7 Knicks. I mean, we talk about the Knicks all the time, but we don't only talk about the Knicks. We talk about every sport, okay? From all the New York teams to boxing to all types of stuff. Get inside the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server and definitely join the channel. Salute to FS Wisdom. Double teaming is pointless. Facts, FS Wisdom. Precious not saying any minute. Of course, Precious is out of here. You know, and I'm waiting for the season to end so I could re-release the Precious Achiuwa story that I was told about Precious and what his regular season, what his off-season plans are next season. FS Wisdom said, I think whoever takes game 1 wins the series. Now, salute to Mike, right? Salute to Mike from Harlem, the PA. He said this on the call-up show, and I think he also doubled down inside the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. He said that the Knicks are going to win game 1. If the Knicks can win game 1, that's phenomenal for a multitude of reasons. The one reason is that that teams that win game one of a series have a 75% chance of winning. It turns the odds to our favor. We know right now the Celtics, huge favorite, and they have an 88% chance of winning. So if we could get game one, which is possible because we've seen, I'm gonna get to home court in a second. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Let me stay on track for myself. All right. But salute to you, FS Wisdom. I'm gonna move on because I see we over the hour mark. I'm gonna try to move a little quicker. Now, 1-on-1 on Tatum. That's the seventh key. 1-on-1 on Tatum. All right. And I'm gonna put Tatum on the screen so we could get an idea for what he's doing against the New York Knicks. Now, Jason Tatum, MVP candidate. Like I said, he is from the Duke Blue Devils. I'm not going to give him a New York City salute, but go Blue Devils, right? He's averaging 33.5 points against the Knicks this season, okay? On 47.8% shooting from three. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all, and this might sound crazy. Because I'm going to reference the Orlando Magic series, right? In that Orlando Magic game, which hopefully I got it up here somewhere. I probably don't. I'll get it back. No problem. Give me 2 seconds. In this Orlando Magic series, the one game they lost, I want you to notice something, right? I want you to notice something. I'm going to put the box score on the screen in 2 seconds. I want you to look at Jason Tatum's numbers. 36 points. 40% from three. Just under 50% from the field. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He was balling, but the 7 turnovers is a nightmare. Jason Tatum could have a phenomenal game, and the Celtics can still lose. Because the key thing is locking up everybody else, containing Brown. Brown's averaging 23 points in the series. They held him to 19. Derrick White, the third option. They kept him under his average. I think he's averaging, what I said, 18? Fact check myself right quick. White is averaging 17.2. Kept him under his playoff average. Nobody else in double figures. This is why Holiday is key for them, because if these guys ain't got it going, especially Gabe Pritchard, who was the 6th man of the year, I mean, his playoff performance to me hasn't been lackluster. He's only averaging 9.2 points a game, right? And he's not looking the same like he did in the regular season. And he's definitely not hitting the 3 ball at a clip that you would want him to hit. He's hitting, okay. His percentage is good. He's not taking enough threes. He's only taking 3.6 threes a game in the postseason. Okay? So this is the blueprint for Boston. So Tatum, I'm not going to say let him cook. Whoa, slow it down. I'm not saying to let him cook. But you can have success. I don't know what I just did. Hold on, let me go back. You can have success against the Celtics even if Tatum is balling like this. Okay? Even if he is balling like this. Right? And I think OG Anunoby, salute to OG Anunoby. I got that poll in the chat, right, in the community section, asking how well do you think he will do? Right? And to be honest, I think that he can do well, because put it like this. Jason Tatum in the playoffs is averaging 31 points. If we can hold Tatum to 28 points, that's a win. -5 on the season average, -2 on his playoff average, that's a win. But just because Jason Tatum is cooking us, if he's cooking, I'm not saying he will cook us, right? But if he is cooking us, I don't think that it's the end of the world, right? I don't think it's the end of the world. Let me see if I have. I don't know why I keep when I'm clicking. Let me see if I could pull up real quickly the game. Let's see. Regular season. Let me see. How do I do this? There's a way to do it per team. Because I want to see what he's done against the Knicks. All right, so You know what? I got it. I'll do it real quickly. Let me go to Basketball Reference. We could do it real quick. Let's duplicate. I'm gonna go to his game log. That's the fastest way to do it. I just gotta type his name in. Now I want to see. I want to show you what he's done against the Knicks, right? Each game, right? Let's look at it like that. Let's see if we could notice some trends. But my key is one-on-one defense on Tatum. Whoever gets the assignment, and of course we know it's going to be more than likely OG Anunoby. Okay, so against the Knicks. Okay, so these are points. Okay, so let me highlight it here. And you guys are not going to be able to see it that well, but I'll read it off. So in the first game against the Knicks, he had 37 points. Okay. Right? That's the first game. And what game was this? This was game 2. In game 2 against the Knicks, this was February 8th, he had 40 against us. But I'm going to click on this box score right quick because I'm going to show you guys something. In this game, notice OG Anunoby did not play. OG Anunoby did not play in the game where Tatum had 40. This was Mikal Bridges' assignment, right? But to be fair, Mikal Bridges has been playing better defense recently. So, hey, maybe if Mikal gets another shot against Tatum, he'll do a better job. I'm giving my guys the complete opportunity to do what they got to do, right? I'm not writing our guys off. But in the one game where Tatum had 40, right, I know for a fact that OG Anunoby was not there. And let me sort it back by opponent so we can look at some of these other games. Now, in the overtime game, no, I'm sorry, not the overtime game. In the third game against Boston, which was on February 23rd, I'm gonna go to this box score right quick. Jason Tatum, right? He had 25 points. And guess who played this game? OG Anunoby. And that was OG Anunoby's assignment. OG Anunoby has shown the ability to be able to contain Jason Tatum. Right? Of course, OG Anunoby didn't have a great offensive game. But Jason Tatum in this game, 40% from the field, 30% from 3. We need to see some of that in the series. Now, I think OG can slow him down. Will OG completely stop him? There's no way you can stop anybody in today's NBA. Even Brunson. They're not going to be able to stop Brunson. So I expect what Brunson's going to be, because I think playoff Brunson's in full effect. I expect he and Brunson to cancel each other out. This series is going to be won by Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, and the rest of the guys. Tatum and Brunson are going to do what they got to do. Another thing why we need one-on-one defense against Tatum is we know that 86% of his assists and on the season, I'm going to tell you right now how much assists Tatum is averaging. I think this is amongst his career high in assists. If not, it's still 5 assists. Okay, so 5 assists a game for Tatum. And I'll pull up his career numbers just to fact check to see if that's amongst his career high. Let's see. Okay, all right, so 6 assists a game. I must was looking at last year. I got to make sure I'm on the right year. It's fine. So he had a career high in assists this year, Jason Tatum. 6 assists a game. Okay? 6 assists a game. And 87% of his assists are to open three-point shooters. So that's another reason why we have to play Tatum one-on-one, is because these guys are going to get open shots. Let me just make sure I'm in the right year. I know I'm moving really fast. It's okay. I'm reading out. Anything I'm looking at, I'm reading out. So if you can't keep up with the visuals, don't worry about it. He leads the team in assists. He leads the team in rebounds. He leads the team in points. I don't know what debate there is. Jason Tatum is the best player on the Celtics. And that is just a fact. He leads them in rebounds, points, and assists. So I think Brunson can match the points and the assists. So if he cooks, it's not the end of the world. The Magic beat them with him cooking, right? We had a good game contesting him, right? I also think OG Anunoby, why he deserves the assignment, I do think that OG Anunoby is the best perimeter. I'm going to say it like this. OG Anunoby is the best defender, probably in the league, definitely in the East, on big perimeter-centric fours. Guys like Tatum, guys like Giannis, not back to the basket fours. Guys that start their action, their offense from the perimeter, inside out. I mean, outside, inside type of dudes, right? Guys, they'll get to the basket, but they're starting their offense from 26 feet out. I don't think there's a better defender of players like that than OG Anunoby. And he should be all NBA first team. Did they come out with the awards? Because I didn't really keep up with no news yesterday. I was locked in. I was just watching old Celtic games. I think I might have watched like 4 games yesterday. 2 condensed. So on League Pass, you have to watch the full games to watch the Celtic broadcast, right? So I watched 2 Celtic broadcast games, and then I watched another, like 3 condensed games. So yeah, salute to everybody in the building. Okay. Oh, and salute to all the mods as well, because I didn't realize that mods could also chat. So salute to all the mods that are chatting as well. Let me see. Crim's dad says just like they will do Brunson to leave Hart open. Well, that's a major key. And to spend some time on offense, right? Because I'm not talking about offense. I think that it's not a part of my keys, I should say. On the offensive side of things, Brunson, they're going to try to blitz him, right? They're going to guard him one-on-one. They're going to guard Brunson many different ways. They also run a zone too, Boston. They run a matchup zone that they'll do at times, especially when the defense is struggling. So, there's going to be opportunities for open shooters, for sure, guaranteed, especially for Josh Hart. He just has to have the confidence to take and make the shots. Now, Bridges might get some open threes. OG might get some open threes, right? Because Tatum is going to get that OG Anunoby assignment. So, yeah, for sure. And salute to you, Big Dog Talk Sports. By the way, to everybody watching, wow, got a lot of people viewing. Salute to all the viewers. Make sure the likes match the view count, right? I understand that this is a members-only live chat, but you guys can still, support by giving a like, right? Or you could even join the channel if you would like. Definitely consider joining the channel, not only so you can join the chat, but you get a lot of members perks as well. Let me see if there's any other comments. F his wisdom, let Tatum do his thing, lock everyone else up. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it like that, F his wisdom, but that's kind of the gist of what it is, because OG Anunoby is going to give his best effort, right? OG Anunoby is not going to, cower to Tatum, right? I don't foresee that happening. I think he's going to give his best effort, right? His best effort. You know what? Let me do a Google search because I want you guys to see this next thing I want to put on the screen. I'm going to get to my 8th key. Crim's Day. Yeah, no, it's members only. It's just that mods could also chat in members only show. I didn't realize that mods could do that. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, mods join the chat. If you're a channel mod, join the chat. I just didn't know that. This is my first time doing this show. So, salute to everybody that's tuned in. For this next one, I'm gonna put this on the screen so y'all could have some visuals, and then I'm gonna go in and cook. Because my 8th key is gonna be NBA champions. Okay, NBA champions. We know that Boston Celtics, they are the defending champions, but there's one current consistent theme of recent NBA champions that I want to touch on, and I'm gonna try to get a good list so you guys can look at it while I talk. Wow, this league started in 1946. That's crazy. So, let me see. All right, bet. So we're gonna do it like this, y'all. Let me go into research mode. So, bam, on the screen, I got a list of all the champions, right, from ever since 2019. Okay. So you got the Toronto Raptors, they won it in 2019, Lakers in 2020, Bucks in 2021, Warriors in 2022, Denver 2023, Boston 2024. This is what we're dealing with right now. We finally facing the defending champions in the playoffs. When's the last time the Knicks faced the defending champions in the playoff series? That bald-headed guy out of Chicago? Are we Are we entering that territory? I'm going to relax. Listen, as we get deeper into the postseason, especially if the Knicks are successful, you're going to see me become a little less subjective, and I'm already all in with the Knicks, but I'm going to be really nicked out, right? Especially if we have success. So, but of course, it comes with success. We're not just going to be nicked out. Oh, we're going to win the championship with no evidence, no hope, no nothing. Just straight up, just us wanting to just fill the room with hot air and not really give real level-headed takes. No, we don't do that. But I want to talk about these champions. If you guys have been watching basketball, you would note a trend with all these teams. Not only did most of these teams fire the coach that won the championship, Nick Nurse was fired, right? Frank Vogel was fired. Mike Budenholzer was fired. I think he was fired twice too. Wasn't he with the Suns? Steve Kerr still has his job. He's the only one so far that we went on the list that still has their job. Michael Malone just was fired. Okay. Did I lose my soundboard? Oh, I never had my soundboard up there. Technical difficulties. Anyway, I'm gonna keep the show going. So Michael Malone was just fired, right? And of course, you got Joe Mazzulla. He's not getting fired. So Steve Kerr, Joe Mazzulla, 2 of the 6 coaches still got their jobs. That's not the trend I'm talking about. Out of all of these teams, only one team, all of these champions from going back to 2019, only one of these champions made it past the second round. Only one. Anyone want to take a wild guess? Oh, I think I got my soundboard back. Anyone want to take a wild guess as the only team that made it past the second round? Because the Celtics didn't get a chance to do it yet, right? Well, I think 2 teams. No, one team. Only one team made it past the second round. The Los Angeles Lakers. They went to the Western Conference Finals. What year was that? Was that the Denver year? Let me pull it up. I think that was the Denver year. Let me see. I just want to be accurate on that. Let me duplicate. I think it was the Denver year. That was the only year the Lakers have been past the second round since they won the championship. This league is full of parity. I just want to look this up because I'm going to go crazy if I don't. Let's see. Western Conference Finals. Yes, that was the Denver year. Okay. So they went to the Western Conference Finals. They're the only team to advance, right? The only championship team to advance. This league has become a league of parity. Adam Silver has made the push to make every team competitive. You're seeing teams go to the finals, not make the playoffs the next year, right? You're seeing teams going to the finals, conference finals, dismantling their teams, right? So each and every year, you're seeing a regression in consistency. A lot of good teams just don't stay good for long, right? And I think that's another key for the Knicks too, right? So us, the Celtics, and the Nuggets are the only 3 teams to make it to the second round 3 years in a row. The only teams to make it to the second round 3 years in a row. Based on the history of this metric, not that it is a direct correlation, but based off the trend we're seeing, the champions don't make it far. So just because you're the defending champion, it doesn't mean you're going to repeat or even get back to the finals. And remember, the Lakers won the championship in 2020. It took them 3 years to get back past the second round. It didn't happen the next year. Okay? So I think that we have a chance to continue the legacy. I think we have the opportunity to knock off the Giants. It's just something to consider. Something that I noticed. I'm going to get to my 9th key, and then I'm going to look into the chat. So my 9th key is smart, aggressive defense. Now we're going to talk about defense. Not talking about offense today. I want to talk about defense. Defense is very important. And we talked about some of the major key things earlier. We talked about Tatum. We talked about Brown and things of that nature. And also, guys, by the way, if you just joined this show, Make sure you guys hit that like button. I see Maxine in the chat. So, no, this live is not open to everyone. This is a members only live, but mods can chat. For the record, we playing the football Giants. I think the Knicks could take the Giants and basketball players in 4 games. Crim's dad, stop. Why did I peek into the chat? Why did I peek in the chat and see Crim's dad's comments? So no, this is members only mode. So if you do want to participate in the chat, you do have to become a member just to answer the question. As far as if you're just watching the show, let's get the likes up like Maxine will say. Okay? And I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to talk about smart aggressive defense. Smart aggressive defense is the 9th key that I think the Knicks, this is one thing the Knicks can do. And I got like multiple things. I'm going to try to go fast. Okay? I'm going to try to go fast because we're getting past that hour and a half mark. I don't want to make it too much longer. But I want to preview the series. Okay, cool. So one of the key things about the Boston Celtics this postseason is that they are, and actually I could put this on the screen too, they are getting to the line way more than they did in the regular season. Make sure this is the right year. 2025 Celtics, right? So in the regular season, you can see here, they are last in free throws made and free throws attempted. Smart, aggressive defense. So yes, we want the defense to be smart. To be aggressive, but it has to be smart. You cannot put these guys on the free throw line. It is a cardinal sin to put these guys on the free throw line. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Let me go to the postseason. In the playoffs, they have increased their free throw, right, percentage. And not just their percentage. Yes, they increased their percentage and went from what they were shooting just under 80, and now it's about 83%. Okay, got it right here, highlighted right here where the mouse cursor is. Okay, not only that, they improved their. And thank you, by the way, for the water. Thanks. I needed some water. Executive producer came through at the right time. Anyway, they increased their free throws, right? +5. They went from about 20 free throws. No, +6. They went from about +20 free throws right here. What's that? No, 19 free throws. So they plus, you know what? I'm going to give them the point. They plus 7 their free throws attempted. They also plussed their free throws made by 6. 6 more free throws made, 7 more free throws attempted. These guys are getting to the line more. So, yes, you want to play physical. You don't want to put these guys on the line. They are making teams pay. Well, they made the Orlando Magic play. And we know the Orlando Magic had a top 5 defense. We don't have a top 5 defense. So we can't afford to gamble the way the Magic gambled. So the defense has to be aggressive, but it has to be smart. You cannot put these guys on the line. And if you want to look, Jason Tatum is shooting 10 free throws a game. 10 free throws a game. Okay? In the regular season, Jason Tatum shot 6 free throws. Jason Tatum by himself is +4 free throws. Jaylen Brown, who I believe is the foul baiter, the real foul baiter out of everybody on the Boston Celtics team. And I don't say, when I say foul baiter, because they try to say the same thing about Brunson, but they try to make it a negative light. I don't look down on foul baiting. I think that drawing fouls is a part of what great offensive players do. Jordan was drawing fouls. What do you think the head fake pump fake was for? That's what the game is about. But to me, the guy who's the guy you got to really worry about is Brown, because Brown definitely he's going aggressive to the basket, and Brown, he +1 his free throws, but he was at 5. So both of those guys have increased the amount of free throws they're attempting. Even Kristaps Porzingis 5.6 free throws in the regular season, so he +1 his free throws. He was 4.7. Those 3 guys right here, you don't want to put them on the line. Everybody else, they don't get to the line because they're on the perimeter. Derek White, Pritchard, Holiday. Well, Holiday only played a couple of games, but nobody else. It's really these 3 guys who are nightmare matchups. KP's a nightmare matchup. Brown's a nightmare matchup. Tatum's a nightmare matchup. Okay? So those guys are the guys realistically we're talking about. Anytime in the regular season, the Celtics, like they're doing in the postseason, which was getting more 20 or more free throws, they had a 37-10 record. They thrive off free throws, even though they don't shoot a lot. But when they get the opportunity to shoot free throws, they're going to kill you. You're going to lose. And in fact, in the Orlando Magic series, right, in every single game, well, besides the one of their blowout wins, but in all the other games, they were 20 plus in the free throws. Even the game they lost, they got up 20. How many free throws was that? 22. So yeah, they're getting these free throws up, and it can fuel victory. So you wanna play defense, don't put them on the line. They're a team that normally don't get to the line. But yes, they were going up against an aggressive Magic team. But if we're gonna come with the same energy, we got to be smarter. Got to be smarter than the Magic. They could be better. We could be smarter. Once again, no unnecessary double teams. We talked about that with Tatum and Brown. Well, mostly Tatum. No unnecessary double teams. We cannot double team from 20 feet out. It don't make sense. If they make the three, they make the three. But if you got to double them, I'd rather them make a tough three, right, than an open three. That's just how I see it. Okay. Let me see what else. Switch, right? Switching for sure. Switching is important. And the next rotation on defense has to be better. They give up too many open threes. We got to rotate better. So that's a part of the smart, aggressive defense. A couple of times, the Magic has success chasing the Celtics off the line, right? When you look at their three-point, and I'm going to talk about their three-point. I don't think I mentioned this yet. Or I might have. But I'm going to if I did mention it, I'm going to retouch on it briefly. So the Celtics have increased their three-point percentage by 1% at 37.8%. But their attempts are down. They're only shooting 30. Yeah, and I did talk about it, right? So they're down. They're minus 16. They were shooting 48 threes in the regular season. In the postseason, they're only shooting 31. Okay? So their threes are down, right? And part of the reason why their threes is down is because the Magic was chasing them off the line, turning them into two-point warriors, which is something that they did a really good job at. They still managed to shoot 53% from two-point range, right? And 46.8 two-point shots. Let me just see if they shooting more two-point shots. I think so. So they attempted 46.8 in the regular season. 2-point shots, they attempted 50. No, so their 2 points are down. Overall, their entire shot catalog is down, right? Their points are down. They were one of the best teams scoring-wise. They were ninth in scoring. No, wrong team. Hold on. Get my facts right. Okay. So, okay. No, I'm wrong. Okay, cool. Okay, got it. I was looking at the Knicks. So they did increase their +5 on their 2-point shots, right? But their 2-point percentage is down, which is natural. If you shoot more 2-point shots, your 2-point percentage should drop. But they're shooting more 2-point shots. That's the major key in itself. And of course, they're minus 12. Is that minus? No, minus 10. They were averaging 116 in the regular season. They're 106 in the postseason. And I think that this trend will continue because they're a slow-paced team, and we're also a slow-paced team. So I don't expect to see a lot of offense from both sides, right? So we don't want the three-point numbers to go up. Chase them off the line. That's something that we could try to do. KP, he's going to pop to the nail. And so this is Jalen Brunson, right? So my two concerns about Jalen Brunson, technically it's 3 concerns. The 3 concerns about Jalen Brunson is that when he's guarding Holiday set screens to force mismatches. Jalen Brunson is going to have to compete on the perimeter. I'm willing to have Jalen chase them guys. So if Jalen switches on Tatum, right? First off, Tatum he's a good bad shot maker. He shoots a lot of 20-foot fadeaway. Even when he got a smaller guy on him, he doesn't always look to go to the basket. So I'm cool if Brunson switches on to Tatum and he's hitting a fadeaway 20-foot tough shot. That's cool. If I'm Brunson, I would look to, push him to the help. So Brunson's going to have to push to help. And especially when he gets the Jaylen Brown switch. Oh my God, that's a nightmare switch. KP is another nightmare switch. KP will pop to the nail. So when they run pick and roll, let's say they do the Holiday KP pick and roll, KP will pop to the nail knowing that Brunson's going to switch on him, and he can go to work. He can post up from there. Something to be of concern, point of concern. And Horford, smart, aggressive defense. Horford is one of the guys that you do not want to leave alone, right? Al Horford is this the playoffs? So Al Horford on the postseason, okay, he's getting up about 2.4 threes a game. He's shooting 41% from downtown in the playoffs. Al Horford, that's major. So 2.13, so he's making about 2 threes a game in the regular season. He's down a little bit, but his attempts are down, right? Hold on, just fact check myself. So he's attempting. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. He's making one. Okay, cool. Let me complete fix that. So Al Horford is actually down, right? He's actually down in 3-point attempts, but he's still shooting 44%. Okay, 41%, which is still a great percentage. He's still a threat out there. But on the regular season, he was making 5 threes, 36%. Okay, cool. He's taking less threes, but I want to say this. Al Horford is somebody who can be a danger because anytime he scores 9 points or more, the Boston Celtics are 26-5. Okay? 26-5. So we cannot allow this brother to get 9 points on 3-corner threes. You're going to lose. Right? Smart, aggressive defense. And a lot of the other things we mentioned, also dominating the defensive rebounding matchup, that will also help with defense. That's a part of smart, aggressive defense, I believe. At least I believe so. And I think that with Mitchell Robinson in the lineup, he's going to help with that. And I would love to see some Precious too. I mean, give Precious a shot. He has good size. You could use his rebounding, right? He's a good defender. If you're getting cooked, you're going to have to break the Precious Achiuwa. Smash the alarm for Precious Achiuwa. So I'm going to get to my last point, then I'm going to get into the chat. My last point is kind of simple. The 10th key to victory for me is winning at home. Winning at home. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. Because I kind of moved the camera. Okay, cool. By accident. So winning at home to me is one of the most important things about the win. Yes, we got to split games in Boston, especially the first 2 games, but we got to win at home. You cannot allow Boston to beat you. If Boston wins games 3 and 4, it's either we got swept or we're going to get gentlemen swept. It's one of the two. If they win games 3 and 4, we're cooked. If they win 1 games 3 or 4, hopefully we can split in Boston. That's not bad. That's a decent position to be in, right? 2-2, you got 1 in Boston, they got 1 in New York. I could live with that. If we lose game 3 and 4, not only will the MSG faithful crowd be sad, disappointed, series is over in 5 games. You lose those games, unless you win the first 2 in Boston, hey. But if you're not winning the first 2 games in Boston, you cannot afford to lose games 3 and 4 at home. The Boston Celtics is the second greatest road team in NBA history. They had 33 wins, right? They were second to the Golden State Warrior team that won 73 games, and they had 34 wins. Boston Celtics are very, very, very good on the road, right? That's why I was surprised they lost game 3 to the Magic, which was in Orlando. But Holiday didn't play. Not to make any excuses, because the Magic don't have their entire team. So that just is not a fair comparison. Now, I think the Knicks could get one of the first 2 games. I think if the Knicks want to win the series, you get, especially the first game. If the Knicks win the first game, oh my God. But if we could get the second game, I think that matters a lot as well. Because if the Knicks gets game 2, they have to get game 3. You, at the bare minimum, you got to get game 3, because the team that goes up 2-1 has, I think they said, a 75% chance of winning the series. So it's all I'm looking at, guys, is odds. We have an 88% chance of losing. Boston has an 88% chance of winning. So I'm trying to turn the numbers in our favor. We win game 1, it gives us a 74% chance to win, right? or 75% chance to win. Okay. Now, I think that the Knicks could steal a road game because the Celtics lost, right, a home game to the Cavaliers. Not this year's Cavs, last year's Cavs. And they also lost a road game to the Heat without Jimmy Butler. I mean, a home game to the Heat. So we could get that first game, right? And you still got to win at home. You still got to win at home. If you split games, fine. But you cannot allow Boston to win games 3 and 4. Can't do it. That's all my 10 keys, man. That's all my 10 keys. Let me see what you guys talking about in chat. I subscribe for behind the scenes videos of Quran. Crim's dad, stop. I'm gonna get Crims on you. Bench Hart for Mitch. Okay, Crim's dad, I wouldn't bench Hart for Mitch because unless they're going with a big lineup, right? Because I already explained earlier that you want to keep Mitch as far away from KP as possible, and so he has to guard KP with the Holiday lineup, right? Now, if Holiday is not there, you could hide Mitch on Horford, but he's going to have to take the Al Horford corner challenge. You cannot leave Al Horford out there getting open threes because you want to help and you know, because that's what Mitch's nature is. He's a big man. So that's my only concern with the double big lineup. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that Mitch can actually, you know, handle it. You know, I hope that Mitch can guard KP. I would love to be wrong. Play Mitch, win, and Mitch champion. Mitch wins the championship. I hear you. And I'm not gonna Crims. I'm gonna get Crims dad. I'm gonna get Crims on you, Crims dad. You wildin'. We're not firing Tibbs. And now, you know what's funny? Salute to, I think that was Nick Shack. Nick Shack was like, why did I drop the last video I dropped? That's the reason why I dropped the last video I dropped. Letting you guys know, Coach Tibbs' job is secured. Because look at what Crim's dad said. Fire Tibbs, chances will be in our favor. There's a lot of people that want to see him fired when his job is secure. Hart is too small versus Boston. Can't defend, can't shoot. I'm hoping he takes the Jaylen Brown challenge. And you know what? Before I end the show, I want to, oh, you know what? Since this is a members show, I could do this. I do want to give you guys a tour of what you would get when you join the channel to all the people that are listening, and give you reasons, not just to get access to the live member chat on this show, but you actually get some other cool perks when you join the channel. I'm going to talk about the Starter Knicks fan package. One of the key perks is you get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, right? It's a place where it's not a free-for-all Discord server. Salute to everyone else that does that. This Discord server is for members and people who's been around with the channel for a long time. But in order to get access to the Discord server, you have to become a member, right? We have a great 24/7 Knicks chat. I'm in there. It's a great way to extend the connection with me outside of this YouTube. Crim's dad, you need to get in there, Crim's dad. You acting like you scared of Discord, but that's a whole nother topic. You know, we talk all sports, Yankees, football, everything, right? And it's just a great place to connect. You know, it's a great way if you want to extend the objective Knicks fan experience off the YouTube platform. That's why you get inside that Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. Also, you get, of course, the cool badges that everybody in the chat has. You see, salute to Just Knicks. I see you just joining the chat. You see Crim's dad has the blue badge, right? He's been a little while. So all the members get the cool badges to let everybody know. And it's also so I can see you guys in the chat, and I look for those badges, and we have great conversation. Members only live chat like today, right? I'm gonna be doing more of these. I also do members only shows. This was supposed to be a members only show, but I decided to let everyone watch while the members chat, like how we normally would do behind the scenes or on the member shows. Of course, I get priority reply comments. I get a lot of comments. I try to drop a poll daily. I definitely drop a piece of content every day. Recently, I've been trying to drop a video, even if it's a clip, every single day. We trying to drop content. So sometimes you guys would like to leave your commentary on there. I make sure I get right back to the members. Special updates. Excuse me for not doing an unfiltered thought this past week. I had a crazy week. I will be doing more unfiltered thoughts and more members only exclusive niche content. Members also, of course, they get shout out all the times. We also show love on this channel. This is what this channel is about. We spread love. the Brooklyn way, the New York City way. That's how we do it. And of course, discounts on the merch. Some of the merch I showed you earlier, right? Oh, went to the wrong window. But some of this merch here, you get a discount when you become a member. For this merch and all the other future merch, right? Now, on the way out, I do have some concerns. Some of them I addressed, so I'm not going to address the other stuff. Bench production is key. Somebody mentioned it earlier. We need more from the bench. The Celtics bench, to me, hasn't been the greatest either, right? Either in this postseason. Pritchard's giving them 9 points, which is solid, right? 9 points is that's what you need from your bench, right? But Horford is really a starter. So outside of Pritchard, you're not really getting no production from nobody else on the Celtics bench. Let me put this in research mode. The Celtics bench isn't really giving any production, right? And in a lot of the games where Holiday didn't play, they were running an 8-man rotation. Okay, you see that? Cornette, 3.8 points. Hauser, 3.2. Hauser's been a disappointment. KP actually struggled with his 3-ball too. KP didn't hit a 3-ball. Look, he's shooting 10% from 3. Right? The old KP is showing up in this postseason, which is another major key I forgot to mention. But KP hasn't been having a good postseason. I think that bodes well for us. But his free throws, I think his free throws are up though. I think he's been getting to the line because he's getting 5.6 free throws a night. His free throws are up, but everything else is down with KP because he's been forced to play like a big man against the Orlando Magic because the Orlando Magic, they got a big team. And they got big guys that can guard the perimeter, something that we really don't have. So bench production is a concern, but the Celtics are not giving much better, right? Only Pritchard's the only guy on their bench doing anything. And like I said, Horford started 4 games, so you can't even count Horford. Stagnant offense. So yes, even though I'm a part of the dribble club, I want to see Brunson dribble, right? Only when the other guys are not scoring, right? Of course, I want Brunson to be a point guard first. I don't want him to just take, just to negate passing, but Brunson doesn't play that way. Brunson passes the ball. That's a myth to all the people that don't think that Brunson passes, okay? Now, make sure my sound. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, cool. So, stagnant offense. We talked about 3-point defense. Jason Tatum. He's a concern as always. Our shooting numbers are down. Will it get better against Boston? I don't know. But Boston's numbers are down too. They're not world beaters, right? Yes, they're shooting 38% from 3, but they're only making 11.8 threes, right? So you'll take that from the Celtics, and they're only shooting 46% from the field. It's not. It's solid, but it's not the end of this world. But their points are down. So, Boston's offense hasn't been off the charts at all. It hasn't. Now, here's another thing, too, about the Celtics, right? The Celtics, they protect the ball. 13 turnovers a game. I think they were the best team in the regular season. No, second best at 11.9 turnovers. So one of the things the Knicks were doing, we were turning over Detroit, getting a lot of points in transition. That might come down some. So the Knicks are going to have to supplement that offense they were getting there. But that's all. That's my only concerns, y'all. That's my only concern. Outside of that, I think that the Knicks, if they employ a lot of the things that we've been talking about, I think the Knicks can win this series in 7 games. The odds are stacked against us, I know, but we could get it done, man. That's all I got for you guys today, man. Listen, I'm going to give a big time salute to Crim's dad, Just Knicks, all the channel members, all the mods, Maxine, Big Dog Talk Sports made her appearance. FS Wisdom. Yuri was in here early. Keith Rockets from the ATL. HRM the Great. All the channel members that tuned in. Everybody that's going to watch the show. Everybody that's been watching the show who smashed the like button. Salute to you guys. More than one way to support. Everybody who went to the shop to check out the merch. By the way, salute to the brother. I gotta do some shout out videos. I sold a couple of items on the last broadcast. Salute to everybody that buys the merch on this show and future shows. I do appreciate the support, man. Great stuff, great show. And that's my reasoning, man. Let me see. I know Crim's dad. I know. You don't want to go on Discord. I know. I got you. Crim's dad did salute to Crim's dad. He definitely did get the mugs. Yes, I know Crim's dad. You are a supporter. I'm just saying, you would be nice to add to the Discord community. It's a whole group of us. Just Knicks. So hopefully you're in there too. I'm not sure if you're in there, Just Knicks. I'm gonna do a 411 members post after this, the membership, to make sure all the members that you guys are in there, because there are some members that are not in the Discord, not just Crim's dad. But Crim's dad, salute the Crims. All right, tell Crims I said what's up. All right, and that's all I got for you. So until next time, you already know, New York City salutes. Let's go Knicks, and Knicks in